Welcome, everyone, to the Crystal Starnes Show with your producer and host, Crystal Starnes. Hope you're all having a fabulous day so far, and I'm so happy you're here tuning in to this show. And I'm excited to announce this wonderful country singer that's coming on that's been a country singer for several years. And she's from Washington State originally, and she now lives in Nashville, Tennessee. And her name is Lena Paige. Let's welcome Lena to the show. Hi, Lena. How are you?
Hi, Crystal. How are you?
Good. So happy you're on the show. I'm excited to interview you today. And I know you have a new album out there that you're going to be talking about. So I'm excited about that as well. And so I guess we
It's
could
coming.
start.
I have a new single out, but I have it's on my album. Yeah.
That's
But I
awesome.
will tell you about it. I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. Well, I guess we could first start off with a little bit about your background and what started you in this journey to become a country singer.
Initially, my mom was a prolific songwriter, and she is Merle Travis's niece. And so Merle Travis is my great niece, or I'm Merle Travis's great niece. And just being around music my whole life and singing and performing with my mom and doing her backup vocals. And then I went to Nashville, came out here in 2003, and just somebody said, "When are you moving to Nashville?" And I said, "I'm moving in May." And then I did. And so I moved out here in 2003, and then I moved around a little bit, and then I came back in 2019, cut my first album, Roses in December, and that's how I ended back up here again, was because of my album.
Do you want to talk a little bit about like Roses in December, like what made you write that song, or what started?
Sure. My mom and that was the very first song we wrote together. I came home from school one day and she said, "I need you to help me write this song." And she had been writing, and I never thought about writing. It just wasn't anything it wasn't in my wheelhouse. I just literally just sang all the time, backup vocals for her, pretty much. And then I did some solo stuff like for school and, some little competitions, things like that. And so I started writing. We wrote Roses in December, and that song, it was such a great honor because when I released that song, they told me it was too country for country radio, that they wouldn't play it on country radio because it was too country. It sounded too 90s. And so I just loved it. I've always loved that song. So I kind of released it on different platforms throughout everywhere and on Facebook. And somebody in Europe heard it, and they started just promoting it. A DJ heard it, and he just started playing it. And then they had massive requests for it, and it actually went number 6 for the top 10 country songs for 2020.
Wow.
A year. Yeah. It's so in Europe. And so Europeans, they just love traditional country. So that song it's like a Texas kind of 90s country song. It's really good if you haven't heard it. And I know you have, though. I know you have, Krista.
I have. I love your music.
Thank you so much.
My husband even likes your music too. So
good.
Yeah.
Good. It's funny because that song, more men relate to that song when it's actually about a woman, and her husband is a musician, and he travels, with a band, and he leaves all the time, and she loves him and she loves his music so much. So she's willing to take the roses in December and the snowflakes in July because, the oxymoron of their life, basically. And it's so funny how many men love that song. It's really funny. They do. They cry. Sometimes, men they'll hear it and they cry. And I'm like, that is so funny.
They're real involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have an amazing voice. So,
well, thank you so much.
Well, did you ever face any challenges, when you got into this career?
I still do.
You still okay. Do
Oh
you want to
yeah.
talk about any of them?
When I finally moved to Nashville, I was 30 years old, and they told me that I was way too old because Taylor was she was really strong at that point, and so they were looking for really young talent, and so I didn't cut my album till years later, but I was going to cut it when I was 30, and they said, no, don't do it. It's a waste of money and time. It'll never get off the ground. Um, that's not how country's going now. You're never going to make it. You're too old. And so that was a huge hurdle. And also, I don't know if you can see or not, my lip was bit off by a dog when I was 3 years old. This whole side completely bit off. And so
didn't even
that
notice
was, pardon?
I did not even notice it until you.
Yeah, so my lip droops a little bit, and there's no real defined lip line, and so I always was very self-conscious of that, and because I wasn't like perfect, I always thought that no one would ever acknowledge me because of that, and actually the opposite has been true on that. People have actually welcomed my imperfection, versus not wanting to see me because of it or whatever. I think it really helps young people that are really struggling with, issues and things like that, having scars. We all have scars. Mine's just right there. And a lot of people have them right there. People have been bit by dogs and I'm not afraid of dogs. I love dogs. Got one laying right there. You can't see him, but I love animals. We have horses and everything, but there's just a lot of struggles that musicians face. Mine was my lip, and then and then also my age. And but I just kept writing and singing. I was doing backup vocals for a lot of people. I toured and did backup vocals, and I was very comfortable. I was in my box, doing that. And I finally stepped out of my box in 2019. And I thought, you know what? I don't care. I don't care anymore that I'm too old. I don't care about my lip. I don't care if I've gained weight. I don't care. I'm going to do music because I love it. And so that's kind of how it all came about. I just thought, I care so much about music that I don't care about what anybody thinks. I'm just going to do it.
I like your motivation, and I agree with you. Just go do what you got to do. I mean, don't listen to other people, because there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to try to set you back, and they may be
always
by you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have an amazing voice, and you need to run with it.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I never thought about it growing up. I just sang with my mom. I never thought, and then my mom, one day, she heard me in the shower. I was in the shower and I was singing. And she said, I never thought of you as a singer. And I think I was about 12 or 13. But I was so used to mimicking people because I did backup vocals. I never sang as a solo artist. I always did backup vocals for everybody. So that day I was singing a Crystal Gayle song, and she heard me and she said, you know what? Crystal Gayle's already been done. You need your own voice. You need to be you. And I was like, I never thought of that. I just never thought of being me. I was always mimicking, or trying to make other people sound better and enhancing their voices. So that's when I went to do my own album. I just sang like me.
That's cool. Well, is there any words you could give out to other artists out there that might be just getting into the industry? Some advice you could give?
Yes, contact me. Don't let people take all your money. If you've got a good song, if you're going to need a great song, and you're going to need something special that nobody else has. And you have it in you. You really do. A lot of people do. Don't be like somebody else. Do your own thing. Find you, and then go with that. And don't let anyone in Nashville, there's a lot of sharks in Nashville, and I spent a lot of money on my career and it didn't go anywhere. So don't spend a lot of money with people that won't get you anywhere. They'll promise you a lot of stuff. But contact me and I'll help you. I'm honest and dependable and reliable, and I'm not going to steer you wrong. I won't take a dime from you. I'll just give you the best advice I can, being in the music industry my whole life. And a lot of people won't do that. They're out there just to make money. And they don't care. I've seen people that can't sing a lick, and they'll say, "Oh man, you got it. Let's go in the recording studio and record you." And they're never going to make it. And you just know they're not, but they have other strengths, maybe they're a fantastic lyricist, and so that's what you kind of have to work with. You got to go with that.
Do you want to give out your contact information?
Absolutely. You can reach me on Facebook or Instagram on Lena Paige Music, and you can message me on there. I have given my number out to many people, many of my fans, my phone number. If you direct message me, I will message you back. And if you want me to come perform in your hometown, I would love that. Have guitar, will travel. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guess one of the questions I had was, I saw that you recorded a song with a famous country singer, and I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Oh, sure. I love Tanya. Yes, she actually got my song to chart. I probably wouldn't have been able to do it on my own, but because she was on it. No, I wrote that song with a gentleman, Robbie Jenkins, here in Nashville, and I just loved it. And I pitched it to everybody, anybody and everybody, for a long time, and nobody would record it because of the content of the song. I wrote it for victims of abuse, and it's kind of through a young girl's eyes. And anyway, Tanya, when I was recording my album, she was working on hers as well. And so we were both in the studio, and Kent Wells said, "Tanya, you need to do a duet with Lena on this." And she said, "I'll do it." And she heard it and she just killed it. I mean, in a good way, of course, just Tanya style. And I really wish, I really wanted her to just take the song and record it. And she wouldn't. She wanted me on it as well. So we did it together, and it was so cool. It was so cool. I just love her. She's amazing. She's such an amazing person. But she also knows the industry and a lot of abuse in the industry. And being a female artist in the industry is super hard. I don't know if you've noticed. On the radio, they play an hour of men, and in that hour, they'll play one female artist. Mm-hmm. Really hard to be a female artist in the country genre now, and to be country. Country music is almost gone. So that's what I'm working with, and that's another thing we can talk about. I'm now working with Jerry Foster. Jerry Foster wrote for Elvis. He wrote for Conway Twitty. He wrote for George Jones. He wrote for Charlie Pride. He wrote for Ronnie Milsap. I mean, it was Bill Rice and Jerry Foster were like a force to be reckoned with in the writing industry. And so he and I have been working on a project called Blue Collar Holler, and it's coming soon. And so we have a network that we're working with, and it's very exciting, and it's going to launch here in Nashville. We start filming in November. So that's going to be super exciting. And we are going to feature artists that are true country. So if anybody out there is listening and you write true country, or you are a true country artist, if you we're looking for traditional country artists that really want country music to stay alive. We're going to be doing that, and it's so exciting. And if they're ready to tour, we've got all kinds of plans for you.
Cool. Make sure you check that out and reach out to her if you're interested, if you're a country singer. And I just wanted to back up to the song just so people know the song that you did with Tanya Tucker. I believe
Yes.
was it Joan of Arkansas?
Yes, Joan of Arkansas. I'm sorry, I didn't even say the song title.
Okay, that way if anybody out there wants to listen to it, Joan of Arkansas. It's a really good song. And it has a lot of meaning too, like what she said about abuse and everything. So
very faith-based. I wanted to release it on Christian radio as well. It's just the promoter that I used at the time I don't think they really promoted it properly. It did chart on Music Row, but it really belongs on Christian radio as well.
Right. Well, is there anything else that you want to talk about? I know you have a new album or a new single that's coming out. Did you want to talk about that?
Well, everybody that knows me knows that I wrote with my mom my whole life. My mom just passed away in November. So I lost my writing partner. So it's been really hard. I haven't written another song since she passed away. I'm working on it. I'm trying. I'm trying to get out of that hump. But she wrote a song called Invisible Tears. And I haven't decided if I want to pitch that to somebody. I'd love Miranda Lambert to do it. It's an incredible song. It's the last song she wrote. She wrote it right before my dad died, and she never wrote another song after my dad died. And so we never wrote again after my dad passed away. I've written with some other people a little bit, but anyway, so I started cutting other people's music. People came to me. Yogi Milsap came to me. She said, I want you to cut this song. Ronnie cut it originally, and it got kind of swept under the carpet. But she said, I love this song. So I said, well, let me listen to it. I've never done anybody else's stuff. And it's written by Carol Chase and Cindy Richardson. And I loved it. I loved the lyrics. I loved the spin on it, the melody. The song is just so incredibly perfect. I was like, dang it, I wish I'd written that. Oh, but anyway, it's called Civil War. And I just released it, and I'm super excited about how it's going. It's going really well. And I would love for people to listen to it and share it. It's called Civil War. And it's out there now. It's out on all the platforms. And that is going to go on my new album as well. I just released it as a single. The new album is called Singin in the Key of Country. So yeah, it just kind of came to me at 3:00 in the morning.
Was there anything else that you want to talk about before we close the show?
Well, I just wanted to thank you so much, Crystal, for having me on. This is so exciting. It's fun. I can get going on my soapbox. I got a lot of stuff to talk about in the music industry.
You can talk about it if you want.
Oh gosh, it's just a lot. It's a lot of stuff. But I just want to say thank you so much. And I love my fans. And I had my Facebook page, Lena Paige, and I had over almost 10,000 followers on there. I know it's not a ton, but it's a lot. And it got shut down. I don't know why. Somebody reported it as spam or something. And so that was really disappointing. So I've had to start over. I have like 350 fans now. But if anybody's out there listening, go to Lena Paige Music. That's where I'm at now, and kind of starting that back over again. So, but on Instagram, I'm still Lena Paige Music. Same.
That's horrible that happened to you.
It's awful. It's so frustrating. It happens to a lot of artists. So then they do this thing where you have to verify it now, and so it doesn't get stolen. I just think it's ridiculous. It's like, I don't know. I don't understand any of that stuff. That's not me. I'll just go write another song really quick and get over it.
Right, yeah. Well, I think you should really, that last song that your mom wrote, I think you should definitely pursue that because that'd be like a dedication to her, and I think you should. I mean,
Well, I have recorded it. It's recorded, and I had Kent Wells record it. He produced it. It's beautiful. It's incredible. I played it for my mom before she passed away, and oh, she just loved it. She said, "No, that's incredible." I said, "I know. I think that's your best song yet, Mom." So she said it took her longer to write that song than any song she'd ever written, and I think it took her like 2 months to write it. She a lot of the songs on the album on Roses in December, she would write those songs in like 15, 20 minutes. I mean, she just was a prolific songwriter. I have reel-to-reels. I have stacks and stacks of notebooks that she gave me of songs that she wrote that I haven't even had a chance to even get into all that yet. You know, it's just amazing what she did. Amazing.
who was your mom? Did you mention her name?
I didn't. Her name is Nancy Babb. She's from Henderson, Kentucky, and she's Merle Travis's she's Merle Travis's niece. I've got Tom Bresh on the album, but Nancy Van Wyck. So when she married my dad, she became a Van Wyck. But she was in Nashville in 1959, 1958, and my dad saw her on TV, and he said, "Oh man, I'm going to marry that girl," and he did. But he moved her out to Washington State, and so her music career was over pretty much, except she continued to write. And then she just continued to write all the time. And then she had me, and we wrote together. And then she just never made it back to Nashville. But one of her songs was recorded. It's called Hills of Kentucky. And the Kindles, they cut that song in 1979. The album went Album of the Year. And her song was on that. So that was pretty cool for her.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for coming on. I'm so happy I got to meet you. And again, you have a fabulous voice, so don't stop. Keep doing
Thank you.
Keep going.
Trying to get this camera thing right, you know, this whole lighting and camera thing right. I feel like I'm
It's okay.
It's all good. No, right. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and I really appreciate all the radio play, the DJs that play my stuff, and Europe. You guys are amazing. I love them. Scotland, met some people from Scotland, met some people from Ireland. They all know who I am over there, which is kind of exciting. It's fun. And to be able to play that interview, BBC Radio, the interview when when our song Roses in December made it to number 6, that was pretty cool. I was able to play that for my mom. So.
Well, thank you again for coming on, and thank you everyone out there for watching. And anyone that wants to come on the Crystal Starnes show, just reach out to crystalstarnes.com. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thanks.